Have you ever met someone who had everything they needed, yet still wanted more? Someone who didn't realize that greed could make even the sweetest milk taste bitter. This is the story of Raghav, a milkman whose thirst for more turned his life upside down, and how a single act of kindness changed everything. Stay with me till the end, because this story might just remind you of something you've forgotten about yourself. Raghav lived in a small village called Sundarpur, where everyone knew everyone. Every morning, before the sun even touched the fields, the sound of his bicycle bell echoed through the streets. Milk! Fresh milk! He'd shout, his voice carrying through the sleepy air. He was known for the purity of his milk, the richness that made every cup of tea taste like home. But behind his warm smile was a growing hunger. A hunger not for food or comfort, but for more money, more praise, more everything. He lived with his wife, Meera, and their young son, Arav, in a small clay house on the edge of the village. Meera was gentle and hardworking, often reminding Raghav, "We have enough, Raghav. God has been kind to us." But Raghav never listened. Every day he watched others. The shopkeeper with his new scooter, the landlord's shining watch, the merchant's golden ring, and his heart burned. "Why not me?" he would whisper to himself. "I work harder than all of them." At first, his greed showed in small ways. He started adding a little more water to the milk. Just a little, enough that no one noticed. The profit was tiny, but it felt thrilling. When no one complained, he added a bit more. Slowly, his earnings grew, and so did his confidence. Soon, he bought new clothes for himself and sweets for Arav. Meera was puzzled. "Where is all this money coming from?" she asked one evening. Raghav smiled. "I've been saving, Meera. Business is good." She didn't ask again, but her eyes carried doubt. One day, an old man named Hari, a loyal customer, visited him. "Raghav Beta," he said kindly, "the milk feels thinner these days. Everything all right?" Raghav forced a smile. "Oh no, uncle, maybe your water is off. Try boiling it longer." The old man nodded but didn't look convinced. As he walked away, Raghav felt a pang of guilt, but he quickly buried it. "It's business," he muttered. "Everyone does it." Days turned into weeks, and Raghav's greed grew roots deep inside him. He began dreaming of building a new house, buying a buffalo, even hiring others to work for him. But one morning, fate decided to teach him a lesson. It was a cold dawn when he filled his cans with milk, half diluted as usual, and started his rounds. As he crossed the narrow bridge over the stream, his bicycle slipped on the wet wood. In seconds, he fell hard, and all his milk cans spilled into the river. He sat there, drenched and trembling, watching the white liquid swirl away in the muddy water. The loss hit him like a stone to the chest. His entire day's earnings gone. But worse than the fall was the realization that he had nothing left that was truly his. Not the money, not the respect, not even his peace. When he returned home, Meera rushed to help him worried. "Are you hurt?" she cried, wiping the mud off his clothes. Raghav couldn't answer. He sat silently, staring at his hands. "It's all gone," he whispered. "Everything." That night, he couldn't sleep. The guilt he had ignored for months flooded back. He saw the faces of his customers, the trusting old man, the children waiting for milk, and felt ashamed. The next morning, he woke up early again, but this time, something inside him had changed. He poured fresh, pure milk into his cans. No water, no lies. As he cycled through the village, he felt lighter, almost free. People noticed. "The milk tastes rich again," they said. Word spread quickly. Slowly, trust returned, and with it, something far greater than money, respect. Months passed, and Raghav began helping poor families who couldn't afford milk. When Meera asked why, he simply smiled. "Because once, I took too much. It's time to give back." Years later, when his son Arav grew up and took over the business, the villagers often told him, "Your father was a good man. He taught us that honesty makes even milk taste sweeter." And now, as you sit listening to this story, maybe ask yourself, what's the milk in your life? That one thing you keep adding just a little more to, because sometimes, what we gain through greed is far less than what we lose.